Hey guys, I am so excited to share that my new book, Motherhood Unstressed, is now available worldwide on Amazon Kindle and my website. And this was a book that I designed for every busy mama out there. It's filled with original quotes, poetry, guided meditations, and journaling opportunities, all as a way to bring you back to who you really are. You know, when you become a mother, life changes in innumerable ways. And I think that we all have that sense of purpose and joy within us at all times. It just takes a little help sometimes getting back to that. And that's what this book is about. I want it to be a touchstone in your day so you can literally flip to a page, gain some insight, gain some inner knowing, gain some inner peace, and then go into your day and run it. And I so look forward to seeing where the book goes in the world. If you do get it, please let me know. Please let me know what you think. And I just want to say thank you so much for reading. You are listening to the Motherhood Unstressed podcast, and I'm your host, Liz Carlisle. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so glad that you're here. And if this is the first time that you're tuning in, welcome. I'm so glad that you found the show. And hopefully you'll be doing a deep dive into all the past episodes that we've had over the years. It's really incredible to look back at the guest list. I mean, it's just, I feel honored really to be doing this work and speaking with all of these incredible people. And this week is no exception because I'm speaking with two guests, actually, Dr. Durka and Suthan Naganayagam, and their story is incredible, and I'm so excited to bring it to the forefront. They were in careers that were completely different than what they've created, and, you know, I wanted to ask them, well, what does that actually take? Because I think so many of us have had a dream to pursue something different, to pursue a passion. But before you dive in, it's important to know what that actually takes. And so they're sharing a lot of heart, a lot of honesty and authenticity. And I think whenever we can hear stories like that, it uplifts us and motivates us and inspires us to know that that is possible and here's the steps to do it. So I hope you enjoy this episode. I hope you get a ton of value out of it. If you do, please share it with a friend. And of course, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Enjoy the episode. Well, hello. Welcome to the show. Two guests today, Dr. Durka and Suthan Naganayagam. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad that you're here.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So let's get right into it. How did Niki's Natural Wipes come to be? How did you decide to start a company? What was that night or day like?
Well, it all basically started with our son, Niki. So at the time, he was 3 weeks old and he was having a high temperature and he was just not sleeping well. We took him to the hospital. We found out that he had a urinary tract infection. But prior to knowing what he actually had, they didn't know what had caused his high temperature. So they'd performed the doctors had performed a number of tests, from blood tests to lumbar punctures, x-rays. And then eventually they worked out that it was a urinary tract infection. So I guess from a parent's perspective, to see a child go through all of that at such a young age, it was just so emotional for us. Like, it was just in a way traumatizing for us. And so with his urinary tract infection, it was basically causing a nappy rash for him. And we tried a number of different wipes out in the markets, but none of that really seemed to be helping with alleviating his nappy rash. So we decided to take things into our own hands, and with a bit of research, going with a more natural approach, we experimented with a number of different ingredients in our own home, and we tried them out on him. And then we noticed that his nappy rash started going away, and he was just a lot happier. And it was we felt like it was working really well for us. So a lot of our friends and family basically asked if they could try what we were using. So we just thought, sure, we'd just give them a sample of what we were using, and they were happy with it. And they said, this is great. I mean, it was basically just something that we just did just to help with alleviate his nappy rash, and more so than for it to become anything big. And but then it just kind of snowballed, and it just became quite big because there was a lot of word of mouth and escalated from there. But that's in a way, in a nutshell, how it basically started.
Absolutely. And do you remember the moment where you were like, okay, this could actually be something big. We could actually help a lot of people with this. Do you remember? Did you ever have a conversation like that?
Well, it wasn't really until like a lot of our family and friends thought, you guys should do something big with it. And we just thought, well, it helped our son. I mean, why not? Sure, let's spread the love, like, because a lot of other parents out there could possibly benefit from it, especially seeing as, I guess, what makes our wipes a bit different is that we kind of adopt a more natural, organic approach. And a lot of wipes in the markets tend to have a lot more alcohols and parabens, and we tried to kind of avoid that in our wipes. So our preservatives are more food-based, and we don't have the alcohol. So a lot of alcohol-based wipes tend to, over a period of time, affect like the outer layer of the skin. So it can lead to like dermatological conditions, and like the kids that have got sensitive skin like eczema, it can kind of impact them down the track. So it would be great to kind of spread the love and see a lot of other families benefit from what we benefited from. So
sure.
I guess just to add to that, I guess from as husband and wife, my wife said that it wasn't really a business idea as such. It was just evolving into it. And myself coming from a business background, it sort of naturally evolved into that. I was probably the driving force to kind of start a business, and she was the one saying, okay, let's make this work. How do we make it work together? It just kind of worked hand in hand, and it felt great that as a married couple, we were doing things great together, but as a business, and it just kind of evolved into that. And I think, from a male's perspective, I guess, my wife would stay at home, cook and clean. It was never like that. Our marriage has never been that way. So this allowed us to kind of form into like this amazing kind of a couple forming into like, she was my specialist and I was kind of my sales business guy trying to do it. And it just kind of naturally just evolved into it. There was not kind of like a one point that we felt, okay, this is it. This is going to be the business. It's just like, okay, let's make it work. And it's kind of kept on evolving. Okay, now this is a business and let's build on that. And it's sort of just kind of formulated from there, I guess.
Yeah. As entrepreneurs, how do you manage a marriage and a business and making it work, like you say, and then also your parenting as well? Like, how do you balance all of those balls in the air?
Building a business is hard. We're in two different states at the moment. Now I'm in Sydney, my wife's in Melbourne, because of what we're trying to do and trying to balance work life and family and trying to build a business. What makes us unique is that both of us are in the business together. We're both dedicated to make this business work. So therefore that it's not a 9 to 5. So when I'm at home with the kids, I'm with the kids. I'm with Niki, I'm with Avi, and I'm with Durka, I'm with my wife, and vice versa. So we have a good balance. So I can divert the workload to her, she can continue it, and then she can divert the workload back to me, and I can continue it as a good flow of movement of work that needs to be done. So it's not as if like I have to do this way and I'm solely responsible for that, which makes it a little bit more harder to then have a balanced family life. Like, I'm not saying nothing is perfect. We haven't got the perfect model, but it seems to be working for us at the moment. And yeah.
Yeah. Do you think being parents, well, you've already, raised children, this business is kind of like your next baby. Do you think that because you've already done, the infancy for real children, that you're able to work better together on this project and reach as many people as you can across the world?
I think so, definitely. I think like me and my wife definitely see this as our third child. And, we've been debating to have a third child, and we're always thinking this is our third child.
Right.
We are third child, right? So it's
We're
like,
good.
I don't think we can have a time for the fourth child, right? So, I think it is our baby. It is our baby. We built it from thing, and we give as much love and affection as we do to our kids, and the product itself as well. So it is a third child for us, and it's not. We are not going to give it up after 3-4 years. Hand it over to somebody else. It's just our child is their legacy.
I see. Yeah, because you speak to a lot of entrepreneurs and, they build a business in order to sell it. So you're saying that that's not on the horizon for you guys. You really want to make this a legacy for your children and keep it in the family.
Yes, I would say so.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the key thing. And as we start building the business, we're finding out other parents having similar issues with different aspects. We're trying to evolve the company to be more diverse and support every form of parenthood, not just stereotypical mum being a mum, stay at home wife thing. Dads nowadays love being a dad, love taking the kids out, doing the diapers, washing the kids, and doing all that, right? So the family now is modernizing, and it's not the 60s families where dad goes and does the 9-to-5 jobs, come back with the money, wife's there looking after the kids. It's evolved now. The father wants to be just as involved with the child and the growth, and the mother also wants to be independent and be successful and be a career woman, but also be a mum and not be judged by that, right? So it just gives a good balance. And I think the way the world's changing, it's allowing married couples to be that way, and be parents, to be innovative together. And wipes is one of the products that we've got, but we're looking to bring out more additional products. And our ultimate goal is to make sure other parents don't suffer what we suffered. Our products are expensive at the moment, but over time, our ultimate mission is that you should not be financially able to make sure your child is safe. We want to make sure the wipes is cheap enough, affordable for everybody. You don't have to be a high income earner to afford our wipes. At the moment, that is what it is, but due to the infancy of the business. But our ultimate goal is that every parent should be able to wipe their child or clean their child, knowing it's safe, and not thinking, okay, I can't afford to buy this now because it's expensive, or give up this. I don't want no parents to experience that.
This episode is brought to you by Hiya Vitamins. If you've been wondering if the vitamins that you've been giving your children are actually doing any good, if you look at the ingredients, you'll soon find that they're filled with sugars, preservatives, and junk. Things that you don't want to be giving to your child. I know there's so much out there. We want to keep it simple. We want to keep it easy. Luckily, there's a company like Hiya Vitamins out there who is doing all of that. They provide 12 essential nutrients in every single vitamin in eco-friendly packaging. And then each month they send you a refill. So you don't have bottles and bottles accumulating. You actually are just getting what you need to your children to supplement their diets. And let's be honest, it's hard to keep ourselves fully nourished, let alone our picky eaters. So of course, if you're a listener of the show, they're going to hook you up with a great deal. Head on over to hiyahealth.com/unstressed and you get 50% off your first order. That's hiyahealth.com/unstressed and get 50% off your first bottle. Yeah, absolutely. And let's talk about why it is more expensive. There's a reason behind that. Just besides the infancy, you're adding in these beautiful natural products. Talk to me about the Manuka honey, because when I saw that, I was like, huh? On the butt? Okay.
Manuka honey has a lot of good properties. I guess it's got the healing properties, it's got the antimicrobial, it's got the antibacterial properties with it. With a lot of wipes in the markets, they have a higher water content. So with our wipes, we try and aim for slightly lower water content. And the good thing about Manuka honey is that the two essential ingredients are water and sugar. Due to the fact that there's a lot of these molecules, or like the sugar and the water, are so tightly bound that there's less water moving around freely. So you're less likely to get things like bacterial growth and mold growth. In history, it's been used as under wound dressings in war times, primarily the antibacterial, antimicrobial properties that we were kind of drawn to with that. And then in addition to that, we've got the coconut oil, which has got moisturizing properties. It's also got a little bit of those antibacterial, antimicrobial properties, but it's also hydrating, it's moisturizing as well. and which can be quite good for people that have got really sensitive skin, because like with dermatitis, where that outer layer of the skin is so dehydrated, it adds a bit more moisture to it. So people with more like sensitive skins and skin conditions, it just adds that extra bit of moisture for that as well. They're like our two biggest ingredients, but we've got a lot of other ingredients in there too as well, like chamomile and
I want this for myself. Like, honestly, like I want to just like wipe down my face with this before I go to bed every night. Do you ever do that? Like, because every mom uses wipes for like everything in the house. I could imagine this would be such a go-to for just skincare for yourself.
Well, I mean, I sometimes use it as a makeup remover myself as well. So, I mean, the good thing is that because it doesn't have the alcohol in it, it's quite refreshing as well too. And it just feels so, it just feels so soothing. It just feels so soft, and it doesn't make your skin feel wet either at the same time. And it just got that nice balance. A lot of wipes, I suppose, like they tend to have more, with the alcohol and stuff like that too, is not normally something that you'd recommend to use on the face, like on sensitive areas. But with ours, because I feel safe knowing that it's all natural, it's all organic, and it just feels like I use it myself as a makeup remover sometimes, or even just like as a face refresher as well too. But that's just something we are kind of looking into down the track as well too. So we are looking into coming across developing makeup remover wipes as well too, with similar kind of ingredients as well too. And amongst other products like sunscreens and things like that as well.
Yeah, just also the cloth that we use is wood pulp, is biodegradable as well. And so it's really, we don't use, majority of the wipes, and they use cloth with plastic in it as well, and crude oil formulation. So with us, we use wood pulp, and we use a thicker cloth, and we don't do any prints on the cloth. And that we were very specific on that. We thought about putting the logo as a print in there like all the other brands do. What we found, the formulation has a mismatch balance on the cloth, because it's a single surface cloth with no other indentation. The consistency of the formula is across the whole cloth itself. So you get a consistency. So when you're wiping on your face, or using as a makeup remover, or wiping as a skin down as well, you get that soft touch of the cloth without being too rough as well. And it's moisturized in a way that it holds the moisture and it's not too wet. And it's also pH balanced to absorb into the skin. So we had parents that we never knew were using to remove sunscreen of the kids. So some of the parents were using as to, instead of after the beach and coming out, as you would know, kids, they just don't want to stay around and wash their hands and everything else. So we quickly wipe it down, and they were using it to wipe it down for sunscreen, and it worked. So, these type of new things that we're evolving and finding out from our customers that how they're using it for.
Going back to, the intention behind the brand, you did this for your child to help your child have better skin. I think every parent listening has been in that position where it's like something's wrong and you want to fix it and you don't necessarily know what to do. I mean, what was it inside of you both that were, you decided we're going to do something about this. We're not just going to accept the status quo. We're going to make something that's going to change, hopefully, our child's life. Like what was it that drove you to do this?
I think for me, it was the biggest thing for me is the pain that my son experienced. I guess, when he got sick as a 20-day-old baby, I don't know the medical term, but, getting the spinal fluid out to make sure it was right. And so, they had to do it 3 times. Durka, my wife, she can only manage twice, So as the agony pain, at that time you can't give painkillers either. You're giving a syrup of sugar to match the pain and the scream, all that going through. I think was, I guess, for me, that, we felt it. We really felt that no parent ever should need to go through that pain. No, you don't need to. It's this innocent child is coming to this world, and you're seeing going through pain and hasn't even experienced anything diverse, right? So I think for me, that was the biggest thing for me, seeing that pain. And after that, it didn't matter about money. It didn't matter about anything else. Everything just kind of goes out the window, and it's purely about easing his pain and his needs and focusing on that. We've when it comes to the company, me and my wife, we've literally sold everything that we own, investment, everything else to put into this business, because we believe in that much. Is that there's no turning back for us. This is all or nothing, essentially.
Oh, I just got chills when you were saying that. I mean, that's such a beautiful thing. And I think so many people don't have that courage, that bravery to really make it happen. And you're doing it. I just admire that so much in both of you. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it means a lot. I think that as we start building it out, we are finding a lot of parents who've experienced these things. And even with COVID, right? We're building a family business. If you look at the people who are working for us, our parents, our family members are helping us build this business and build this ecosystem. And, that is refreshing for us, because as we got the product, but you always have this negative feeling as like, okay, yeah, your friends and family saying this is great.
It's great.
It's good. But is it really that good? You get strangers going to turn around and pick it up and say, yeah, we like the wipes. As until we got, strangers reviews, reviewing the product and embracing it and loving it, setting up mothers groups for the product itself. And it just, that really kind of, me and wife sat down, like, yeah, we're on the right track now. We are actually getting there and doing the right thing. And that was kind of a big sense of relief, I guess, for us.
Validation.
Yeah, right. And look, we're always going to have ups and downs, like with any small business and startup business. My mum and dad are the warehouse managers. They pack the packs, hand pack it, and they send it out. I mean, it literally is a family business. Even sending out to our US customers outside of Amazon, sending it is being packed by my parents or packed by myself or my wife to send out the products, right? And we do that now. We believe we'll be doing that going forward. If it's not a family member, will be part of that, because we want this business to be led by parents to drive it to the success, because that's success. Through COVID, we've had a lot of parents who I guess struggled to afford the wipes, but we continue to support them because we were in the same boat. But, it's just trying to help every way possible, because we know their pain they're going through. So we felt it too. So it was easy to relate and support the best way we could.
God, I just love it. I love this conversation. I love everything that you guys stand for. If you looking back or even looking forward, what do you want your legacy with this company, with your life to be? I know that's a heavy question, but I mean, we've kind of already touched on it with what, the intention behind the brand. What do you want to leave with the world through the work that you're doing each and every day?
I think my vision and my wife's vision is similar but different. I give you my vision, I guess, and then my wife's vision might be similar but a bit more different. I guess for me is that I want to build a company that disrupts the cosmetic industry. As we finding out, researching, my background is IT. Right, I grew up a coding programmer, selling big softwares to big corporations and stuff. That was my background, and never in a million years I'll be doing baby wipes. But as I understand the industry and understand how it represents and how people looked on it, I realized there's a lot of we call it sleight of hands to keep it all nice and easy, to have creative marketing and creative words that gives you a false impression that this product is best or better, or you know what I mean. So that it made us more clear, and we weren't educated with that. We never needed to be. We took it for granted that what these big brands say, that what they're saying is true, and they're doing it right by for our kids. So that was a big change for us, for myself, and I guess majority is to build a company that you trust and fully transparent. So as we start building the company, we're building a blockchain logistics for our product. So which means that every time you pick up a Niki's product, you scan it. We'll give you each individual ingredients, where it came from, and date stamp it. So you know what actual ingredients are in the product, where it came from, and the time frame. So it hasn't been sitting on a shelf for 2 years, and all of a sudden we pick it up and put it in the product. We put all our certification and our testings within that. So as a parent or as an individual, when you pick up a Niki's product, you know it's a genuine product and you know where it came from. And we want to be fully transparent. We've got nothing to hide, right? And that's our focus. And then also be a company that is affordable for everybody, not because you've got money. Every parent should be able to provide something clean and safe for their child. Plain and simple. That's a basic a human need. So much more headaches and issues to deal with, not to worry about, okay, how are we going to fix this pain?
I love it. I love it. And I love that you're bringing in your tech background with this in a way that's actually uplifting humanity in the process. That's brilliant. And I think every company that's going to be successful in this new era that we're in has to do that. You have to do that. Okay. So Dr. Durka, your turn.
It's just a lot of love and a lot of research and a lot of pain, I guess, that we've gone through into creating all of this so that we can, make the lives of every other parent and child better and happier in the future.
Just to round out the interview, we've touched on, the intention behind the brand, really the heart, which to me was even unexpected, like just how much you guys really love what you're doing, how much you love your family. You've involved every single member of your family into this business. I think that's just incredible. What is something that you want the audience to remember from this talk?
I guess the biggest thing is that, we're parents that building a business, supporting other parents. And our goal is that, if we're doing something wrong, tell us. We want to learn. We want to know, right? So far we've got a product and we've got a customer who's reaching out to us, ask us to do a few other things that we're looking at, which we never thought about that might be helpful. So, we want their feedback. We want to know what you're struggling with. We know what parents go through, right? Be transparent with us, help us, because we want to help you. And, I guess the audience is that we want to be the number one global trusted brand for your child as a parent. And, that's our ultimate goal in the next 5 to 10 years. When you have a baby, you have a child, you bring it into this world, you realize, okay, we provide them with Nikis, right? That's the ultimate goal. And I guess, your listeners who can take that away and see that, that's our drive, that's our vision, to make sure that every child is provided a safe environment. And this world that we're living is evolving so much with so many different chemicals, different things. If we can help reduce, 1% of that, in 5 or 10 years of their life, hopefully they don't get any sort of illness or whatever it may be, right? And that's our ultimate goal. And also leave a planet for our kids to live in, being eco-friendly, managing the production process of it, right? Being carbon friendly, all that stuff we're trying to build into it. So we have a world for our kids. And I guess that's for you listeners to the thing. And also that if you as a parent want something, go and do it. Believe in yourself, drive it. And we're examples of that. We're my wife's a medical background. I'm an IT coder, right, running a baby wipes business which is global now. So it's not your everyday thing that you wake up. So just drive your passion, follow your passion. And that's so true when all these big guys say you do what you're passionate about, you never work a day in your life. And it's very true. Right, it's 11:30, 12 o'clock in Australia now, and we still love doing it, talking to you or doing emails or talking to, me and my wife talk late at nights when I'm in different states and trying to work out what else we're going to do and things like that. So, and we don't see it as work, right? We do see it as a passion, a family orientation. So, yeah, sorry, I think I'm talking a bit too much.
No, I loved it. I loved it.
if it wasn't for our son, we probably wouldn't have this product in the first place. Like if he didn't have the UTI, if he didn't have the nappy rash, we probably wouldn't be in the position that we are right now. But between like my husband said, like between different states, we make it work. We phone calls, a lot of emails takes place once the kids go to bed when we're in different states.
I love it. Well, we are grateful for your passion and your drive, because honestly, like you said, if we can change the amount of plastic in the world by 1%, the amount of chemicals that we're putting on our children, at their most precious stages where they're the most vulnerable, I think that is life-changing, not just for all the kids out there, of all the parents listening to this, but for our global consciousness and for the world. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for the work that you're doing. Thank you for staying up late and talking to my audience and just, hitting it hard every single day. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
You have been listening to the Motherhood Unstressed podcast, and I'm your host, Liz Carlisle. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you love this episode, please share it with a friend, and be sure to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts so we can get the show out to more and more mothers all over the world.